factor by grouping. 5p cubed minus 10p squared plus 3p minus 6. Anytime we want to factor, the first thing we want to look for is if there's any number that can be taken out of all terms in the polynomial. And in this case, we do not have anything that all terms share. So what we're going to do with this factor by grouping is we're going to first start then by separating our polynomial into two binomials. So I'm going to take my first two terms and make that one binomial, and my second two terms are going to become the second binomial. So it's going to look like this. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm now going to factor out greatest common factors of each of these two binomials. So looking at this first one, 5p cubed minus 10p squared, I see that both of these terms share a factor of 5 and share a factor of p squared. So I can pull that 5 and that p squared out front, leaving me here with just a p and leaving me here with just a 2. So I'm going to end up here with 5p squared out front, p is left here, and then my 2 is left here. Notice I brought my minus sign down. My second binomial, when I factor out my GCS, both of these terms share a factor of 3. This 3 is going to get pulled out front to leave me a p here, and when I pull a 3 out of my 6, 6 divided by 3 is 2. So I'm going to have 3 out front with p minus 2 inside parentheses. Now one thing to notice when I've done that, now both of these terms share a factor of p minus 2. So now because both of those terms have a common binomial factor, this common binomial factor can now get pulled out front. So my p minus 2 is going to be pulled out front, and what I'm going to do is now write what's left over of this term, which is my 5p squared. And then of this term, this is my plus 3. Factored by grouping, I now have that this polynomial has factored to become p minus 2 times 5p squared plus 3.